What's going on, people? French Gooner. This is a new show. It's called The Morning After. Pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, during the game, whatever game it might be, emotions run high. You say a lot of stuff that maybe the next day you'll take back, So this is a show about once the emotions have settled down just a little bit, kind of looking at where we're at and, seeing if the emotions died down, if we've got some more kind of calm points to make on it. So for the first episode of The Morning After, we got a doozy of a topic, and I'm not talking about Doozy. I'm talking about Xhaka coming off, telling the fans to fuck off, being booed off by the fans at 2-2, chucking the armband on the floor, shirt off, flipping, going home. It's all mad. He's thrown a bit of a tantrum, hasn't he, really, truly? He's thrown a bit of a tantrum. As you can see, I got my old school France training kit on. French Gooner, come on, you gotta represent the French side as well every now and then. But we're talking about the arse. Now, I want to be as unbiased as possible. Those who watched my streams last night already know how I feel about the situation. But I feel like I've got to approach this from both sides just to give a balanced and fair account. So I'm going to start with the Xhaka point of view with this thing. If you're looking at it from Xhaka's point of view, yeah, he's obviously, first and foremost, the guy is a person, innit? He's just a person like you or me, innit? So he's a person who earns 90 grand a week to play for a club that we all love, but he didn't grow up an Arsenal fan. So end of the day, he's a person doing a job, innit? And you could say that he's been unfairly scapegoated. I wouldn't say that. I would say he's been scapegoated, and it's maybe tough on him, but I wouldn't say it's unfair. The thing is, Xhaka didn't do anything particularly wrong in that game. You could say for the second goal, he didn't cross down whoever it was, Ward or someone. He didn't cross my man down enough, and that is true. But there's a few other mistakes that were made, and to be honest, whenever we don't do well in a game, we do always look at what Xhaka has done wrong. But there's a reason for that. The reason being, he's got a bit of a base level, hasn't he? And he doesn't really have 9 or 10 out of 10 games. He might have 1 or 2 in a season. If I cast my mind back, I think against Crystal Palace away last season, he scored a great free kick. Against Liverpool at home last season, he had a solid game. They're really few and far between, these kind of, and they weren't even 10s. They were like 8s or 9s. They were very good for Xhaka, but his average level is not good enough for Arsenal. What do we say about Xhaka when we say he's been scapegoated? We say, well, he didn't have that bad a game. He didn't really do anything wrong. Now, since when has not really doing anything wrong been good enough for Arsenal? In the midfield now, his base level isn't high enough, and that's why it builds up over time. It's not just about today. He's not been sarcastically clapped off for today's performance. It's been for saying that we were scared against Watford. He's getting sarcastically clapped off for talking all this weird talk, but never really walking the walk. He's never really backed himself in terms of performances, stepping up, always giving away stupid fouls, just doing stupid stuff. Just not generally being mobile enough as a midfielder for the kind of structure that Emery wants to play. Now, that brings us on to the next point on which you can defend Xhaka. He doesn't choose a structure that seems to expose him every week. He doesn't pick himself to play every week, and he doesn't choose to be the captain. That's Unai Emery who does all of that. So there's a big case to be made to say that instead of having a go at Xhaka, we should be having a go at Unai Emery. There's nothing to excuse what Xhaka's done. There's nothing to excuse what he said. Yeah. But at the same time, he's not picking himself week in, week out. He got subbed against Sheffield United. I think he got the sarcastic applause then. And he got subbed in this game. That's 2 Prem games in a row. If you're subbing your midfielder captain 2 games in a row, that tells me that you're not picking the right starting 11 from the get-go. So that's Emery's fault again. He's being exposed in this midfield structure. Change the structure. to suit him if you think he's good enough to be your captain and build your team around him. Otherwise, don't pick him week in, week out because it's not working. This is something you got to blame Emery for. As I mentioned, Granit Xhaka is a person. He's a human being. So you could say you can have bad reactions to certain situations. If you get given negativity, eventually you'll put out negativity. You can say that, right? But at the same time, I think of someone like, okay, you could say this guy's in a very different situation, but you got a man like Dani Alves, yeah? Who got racially abused many times in his career, but very memorably against Villarreal, I believe in 2014. And he was taking a corner, and the opposition fans threw a banana at Dani Alves. Because he's a Brazilian player of African descent. So, what does Dani Alves do? Does he throw a strop? He's a human being. He's just been racially abused. Now, I have to think that the connotations of racial abuse are a little bit deeper than ironic clapping. But Dani Alves didn't throw a tantrum. Or you could say, it was his own fans that were booing him or whatever. But at the end of the day, racial abuse is a whole different level now. What did Dani Alves do? He picked up the banana and he ate it. And then he took the corner and got on with his game. That's how a professional should behave. It doesn't matter what set of fans are saying what to you. If you're a professional football player, you have to conduct yourself with a certain element of professionalism. What he did was not professional. And being abused by fans, whether it's booing, whether it's racism, that's something you're going to encounter. You have to be able to be professional in the face of that, whatever that professionalism looks like. If it's walking off the pitch because the fans are being racist, that's what you got to do. Yeah? But what you don't do is you don't throw a strop. That just doesn't look good for anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're and it would be more understandable to throw a strop in a racial situation. He's being clapped off ironically. What have you got to be so? You've been booed a little bit. What have you got to be so upset about? A few boos. Yeah. People saying that the Arsenal fans are all toxic and all that, and that's a whole nother discussion to be having. But in American sports, players get booed all the time. Basketball, even soccer as they call it, when they play it over there, they get booed all the time if they're not doing well. Yeah, heavy booing. They don't strop and throw their stuff off. I think Americans are just a little... It's cultural, isn't it? It's a cultural thing. They're always roasting each other. They're just a little bit more robust to that sort of thing, I think. They don't let it get to them. Xhaka, his name's Granit. He's meant to be a tough guy. He's the captain. He's meant to conduct himself like a captain. What he's done, for me, is completely inexcusable. And I know that was meant to be the Xhaka point of view, but... That's that. For me, you just can't excuse it. Fans booing, so what? So what? It wasn't racial abuse. It wasn't. Players get booed all the time in America. They get on with it. So why are you getting so hurt by this, man? Why do you have to do a strop and disrespect everyone on the pitch? And now this brings me to the point against him. I'm tired of trying to back this guy, man. The thing about it is, he's disrespected the fans by telling them to fuck off. Okay, sure, whatever. You could say maybe the fans deserve that. I don't believe that personally, because the fans deserve Xhaka to perform better. That's what the fans deserve, because they've been here for years trying to back this guy when he's been making the most mistakes in the Prem since he arrived. That's a point I'm getting onto in a second. Xhaka, when it comes to this thing, he's getting booed by these people and he's just reacting in a way that's completely inappropriate. At the end of the day, most people wouldn't have done that in his situation. Yeah, and I'll give you examples. Pogba, he got booed horribly last season. This man is the best player on the team. Yeah, he got booed differently last season. Racial slurs. Every time he misses a pen, every time he misses a chance, he's the best player on that team, yeah? Man United fans are going in on him. To his face. Last match of the season, he just went there and stood in front of them and just let them abuse him. He's not even a captain. He didn't throw a strop, didn't disrespect the badge, didn't respect his teammates, he didn't disrespect the fans. He just got on with his career. He was very professional. He wanted to move away. He said a couple things, but he didn't say nothing mad. Professional. Iwobi booed a lot last season. Professional. Did nothing. He didn't say nothing to the fans. He didn't disrespect his teammates. He might have gone home and said, fuck the fans. He might have said it in his head. But he was aware that there's some ways you just can't conduct yourself. And he's not a captain. Again, he's a young man. He knows better. Eboué, booed, became a better player. I'm not saying that it's justified in booing a player, but I'm saying there's ways to react to it. And none of these three guys I've just mentioned did the kind of pathetic nonsense tantrum bullshit that Granit fucking Xhaka did. That was despicable. I'm sorry. It's not okay. Now, the point I was making is that he's not like, yeah, he's disrespected the fans. Maybe you could say the fans deserve to be disrespected now because they've disrespected him in that instance. I don't agree with that, but I understand the point of view. But then the issue, for me, the real issue, and shout out DG, Deluded Gooner, he was speaking about this on, I think, the AFTV interview he did, and it made me really reflect on this. It's not just about the fact that he's disrespected the fans. That's really inconsequential in a lot of ways for me. What it is, it's the knock-on effect that's happened. Because if we have it straight, he disrespects the fans or not just he, but players disrespect the fans by not trying hard enough in games. That's what really matters. A little fuck off. Who cares, man? I don't care about that. What I care about is the way in which this has transpired disrespects everybody. As in Aubameyang, Lacazette. He disrespected Aubameyang by throwing the captain's armband on the floor to him. That means in that moment, you don't give a fuck enough about your own player to go and hand it to him. You care so much about yourself and how you feel that you think it's all about you and you just dash it on the floor. Because you're upset, you're hurt, you're in your feelings. You don't care about Aubameyang and his feelings. You think he's happy, not scoring goals, not getting service, because you fucking shit midfielder can't fucking pass him the ball. Do you think he's happy with that? No, he's not. But you disrespected him further, yeah? You disrespected Unai Emery. Because this man has stuck by you to a fault. We've all slated Emery for this. We said, Emery, how the fuck can you pick Xhaka as your captain? Clearly, you don't know anything about leadership if you think this is your leader. And yeah, he's been captain for Switzerland, and he's been captain for Mönchengladbach, and he's been captain for all these teams, but he's at Arsenal now. Yeah, and it just shows that Unai Emery's got this small club mentality that he thinks this man is the captain. But same way Wenger was given the captain armband, so, you know, whatever, you know, you could say maybe a certain behind the scenes that we're not seeing, but what we are seeing is very clear. And we could all see it before this. We could see that he didn't have a captain's mentality because he shies away in big moments, he hides. He doesn't demand the ball and change the game. He gets the ball when there's enough space for him, otherwise he just passes it right back. This man's disrespected his teammates. He's disrespected the head coach who put all this trust in him. He's disrespected the club. He's disrespected he took the shirt off, stormed down the tunnel. I actually thought he was going to dash the shirt on the ground. But it doesn't matter either way. Taking it off like that in plain view of the fans, that's very symbolic. That shows what you think. You're trying to tell us something. Yeah? Which is fuck this captain's armband, fuck the fans, which he actually said, and fuck this shirt, fuck the club, and fuck the coach. Slapped away Unai Emery's hand, strolled out the tunnel, walked out of the stadium, drove home. Coins getting dashed at his car. Yeah, he just had a kid 2 weeks ago. So you're in your feelings, is that it? You're emotional, you're hormonal, because you had a kid. Man, shut up, man. People have kids in war zones and keep fighting, man. What the fuck's wrong with you? He's a puss. I'm sorry, yeah. This guy is not Arsenal standard. And I'm talking mentality. I'm talking ability. I'm talking leadership. I'm talking professionalism. I'm talking everything. Yeah? And if he is Arsenal standard, well, then that's why we're not in the Champions League. That's why we've been shit for 4 years. Because he's come and he's created this standard. That's what we do now. And and again, you can't just blame him now because he's not picking himself. But you have to apportion blame to the individual who's doing this nonsense. And it's all come out now. We've seen what he's made of. I don't think Vieira ever does that. Boo him as much as you want. I don't think he ever does that. And he had the right to do it. And this is another thing now. If Vieira does that, you say, wow, that was fucked up. But this man's an invincible. This man's won 2-3 Prems. This man's won a World Cup. This man does what the fuck he wants. because he deserves it, because he's a baller and he's a real captain and he's led us to ting. So if that's the standard he sets, it's a winning standard because he's won. He knows how to win. That's what he does. He's a top player. So if he's setting that standard, you would look at it in a different context because the person who's setting it is different and you know that's how he gets about to winning. With Xhaka, you have no credit in the bank as a player to be doing dumb shit like this. Like, you should be grateful to be in an Arsenal shirt. With Vieira, we were grateful to have him in a shirt. Xhaka should be grateful he gets to wear the shirt. So the fact that he's taken it off like that and the disrespect that he's had just shows that he doesn't even appreciate the position that he's in. He doesn't even understand the position he's in. He's captain of Arsenal Football Club with his low level of ability. That's a blessing. You're blessed. You're like Jordan Henderson. Yeah? Imagine Henderson lifting the European Champions Cup. Yeah? Imagine Jordan Henderson lifting the Premier League trophy. He is grateful, bruv. He knows he is not deserving of lifting that as a captain in terms of his ability. But his affinity with the club, rare to basically means that he's been blessed with this opportunity. And as a result, man farms it. He gets subbed, he gets taken on and off, he gets abused. He used to get abused by Liverpool fans. That doesn't react in that way. You could say he's in a better team, but 4 years ago we weren't that far apart. Liverpool and us, who were good attacking, shit defensively, weren't that far apart. He's disrespected everyone, and it's not about the fans at this point. It's about the fact that his position is untenable. Like, how can a teammate, say Lucas Torreira, yeah? Fucking Lucas Torreira, what the fuck? If one good thing comes out of this, it's that Lucas Torreira gets his place back in the fucking starting 11 and Xhaka never fucking starts again for this club. Yeah? And if that happens, then maybe this was worth it. Maybe this had to happen. Maybe this had to happen. It was building up. Fans have been sick of it for a while. Emery's been backing him to the point of stupidity. Emery just needed a slap in the face to see, yo, this ain't my guy. And we've had it in a way that none of us thought it would come, and probably earlier than any of us thought it would come as well. But it's happened now. Should he ever be captain again? Should he ever play for Arsenal Football Club again? When you take that shirt off in that manner, for me, don't put it back on. Don't put it back on, dickhead. Yeah? The way you took it off now, you don't rate it. Cool. We don't rate you. Cool. Cool. We've been wanting this, Xhaka. We've been wanting you to go home, stay home, and don't come back, big man. Morning after, I'm still emotional. Look at this. The man should be grateful to be an Arsenal captain, and he's showing no respect to, forget the fans, to his own teammates, to the club, to the backroom staff, you know. Freddie Ljungberg, Arsenal fucking legend. Robert Pires, Arsenal fucking legend. How fucking dare you? How dare you? You scumbag. Xhaka, man. I back this you as well. Do you know what that pisses me off, yeah? Because in my group chats, bare man going on Xhaka. And I always backed him. Because I like to be controversial. I like to play devil's advocate. So if bare man are going in on someone, I won't just pile on if I can think of a way to defend them. I'll say, well, what about this? Did you think about that? And I always say, I hope he proves everybody wrong. Well, Xhaka, it's too late, brother. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. We all know what you're capable of. You're not capable of turning in performances that will impress us. And now that you've fucked up this mentality, this leadership thing that you apparently had, you're done. You're done, innit? Because that's it, innit? People said it was a leadership thing. It was a captaincy thing. Now we see what that's really about. Now we see what that captaincy, that leadership really counts for. Fuck all, mate. Absolutely fuck all. Big up everyone watching right now. Morning After Show, episode 1. We got a doozy and no Gwen. It's mad. I'm glad the players went to his house. Shout out DG for that information as well. Like he said, that shows the affinity they got between them. They got a close bond. That's one thing Unai did well, is he seemed to strengthen the bonds between the players. But boy, didn't fucking work for Xhaka, did it? Didn't fucking work for Xhaka. And now you're looking at the Ozil thing as well, and you're thinking Xhaka's fucking disliked by the fans, Ozil's disliked by the coach. These are two important characters in our dressing room and midfield, whether we like it or not, innit? Xhaka, captain up until, you know, further new information, and well, apparently the first name on the team sheet for any manager that has him ever. We don't fucking know why. And then Mesut Ozil, mercurial, star, superstar, debatable, but ultimately the highest paid player at the team and the biggest name in a lot of ways on the team. And that's our midfielders. No wonder we're fucked, brother. No wonder we're fucked, innit? This fucking whole thing on the pitch is just mad. And a little bit off the pitch in terms of PR. Behind the scenes with Raul, we trust it at this point. Well, I say we trust it. We trust it more than we have before. We trust Raul more than we trust Gazidis, innit? We're happy with that. But this on the pitch thing and this dressing room thing, it's looking fucked, innit? Look, if Torreira starts week in, week out as the furthest man back instead of playing a fucking number 10 or a fucking number 8 or whatever dumb role they were giving, give him the number 6, have him sit in front of the defence, screen that back four, protect them. If he can do that now, that Xhaka's finally looking like he's fucking going to be dropped, then maybe this was a blessing in disguise, isn't it? And this is the thing, I always want everything to turn around. I want to not be able to rant. I want to be happy as fuck, yeah? But it's just not looking like that's the case. Let's summarise this little Xhaka thing. Should Xhaka be stripped of the captaincy? You know, who's in the wrong? What do you guys think? Tell me. People who are watching this now, yeah? Write it in the comments. Say, who's in the wrong? Is it Emery for picking him? Is it Xhaka for his reactions? Is it the fans? Is it everyone's fault? Yeah? Should Xhaka be forgiven? Should he become Arsenal captain again? Or should there be a permanent consequence? For me, take that captaincy away, blood. Take it away, because really, he should have never had it in the first place. This Wallad should never have had it in the first place, yeah? This fucking fraud should never have had it in the first place. Aubameyang, better captain. Lacazette, better captain. Guendouzi, better captain. Probably Kieran fucking Tierney, just arrived at the club, but probably still a better fucking captain than Granit Xhaka. He should never have had it in the first place. Like I said, it's not about disrespecting the fans. It's the fact that he disrespected the colleagues, the coach who trusted him, the club, the history, etc. Yeah? If I work until at Tesco's and I'm slow and I'm fucking up people's orders and I'm just taking hella time and I've been doing that for weeks, yeah? And on the second year of me working at this Tesco's, customers get vexed at me now and, yo, get this you off the tills, man. And the customers start to boo. And I tell them to all fuck off. I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired, bruv. And really and truly, I should have been fired ages ago for being shit at my job. Yeah? Or at least sat down and rotated more and not been the first guy giving the shifts every week. Xhaka's getting the best shifts every week and he's one of the weakest links in the whole team. And now he's telling them to fuck off and disrespecting his colleagues. Now, his position as captain is untenable. He cannot be captain again. Imagine if he tries to lead these men out against Wolves. People will lose their shit. Fans in the ground will lose their shit. The players won't be able to respect him. They might want to, they want to try, but really and truly they won't. And they won't be able to respect Emery. Because then they're going to look at Emery and be like, hold on, after that behaviour, he's still meant to lead me. What the fuck are you talking about, guy? And so that's not going to work. Should he play again? Should Granit Xhaka ever play for Arsenal Football Club again? I seen a few man say, slap him in under 23s, sell him in January. Would you want to see him on the pitch next week? Or in 3 weeks? Would you want to see him on the pitch after what he's done? Would you trust him on the pitch? Would you trust his commitment to the cause after seeing that shit? He's the guy, yeah, who makes shit decisions. And that's where these fouls come from. All these stupid little yellow cards that he gives away. These stupid pointless fouls where a man just runs around him and he's like, oh, Granit yak ya, you'll yak man down. It's because in a moment he gets frustrated and does dumb shit. And we just seen it last night, innit? In full effect. I think he has to go. I don't want to see him ever on an Arsenal pitch again. I don't want to see him in the Prem. I don't want to see him in the Europa League. Obviously, if we get some injuries and that before January, before we can play him out of necessity, we're paying his wages. He's a slave. Well, a slave. He's getting paid 90k a week. He's a servant of the club, innit? So he has to do what the fuck we tell him to do. Yeah? Otherwise, he just gets fucking fined or whatever. Like, he is our servant. We pay his wages. But I don't want to see him fucking playing, bro. As long as we've got youths to play in the Europa and the Carabao Cup, and we got Torreira, we got Ceballos, we got Guendouzi, right there, that's fine. That midfield three is way better without Xhaka in it. He doesn't ever need to play for this team again. He needs to go in January, bruv. I don't want to ever see him again. Because like I said, other players, if they don't start ahead of him, if Xhaka still gets started ahead of a man like Torreira, ahead of a man like Willock, what's that going to do for them? They're going to think, hold on, this guy told everyone to fuck off, disrespected me, my guys, disrespected my boss, disrespected my fans. And he's still getting started ahead of me. Either that ruins their confidence or it makes them want to go. Because you can't rate a manager who does dumb shit like that. There's standing behind a player and then there's just fucking being stupidly obstinate to a point of self-detriment. And that is what has been happening with Emery. And the standard of respect will drop even further. And now whilst we're on this point, let's get to the meat. Let's get to the free piece with the soda. Let's, you know, Emery out. I'm calming down. Woosa. Now, the club seems to back him to the end of the season. I woke up this morning and I was like, Emery out on Google. Let me find the story that says he's gone. And I see the headline saying, club have made a decision over his future. And I know that means that he's staying for a while. Because otherwise they put Emery sacked in the fucking headline. All this shit is to make me click on the article and see something I don't want to see. Club said they'll back him to the end of the season. Raul has said that the onus is on him. We expect Champions League. We've backed him enough. Now it's up to you, Emery. We're 4 points off top 4. 10 games in. Ha! We're 10 games in. We're 4 points off top 4. 2 weeks ago, we were a point behind Man City. Gassed. We dropped 5 points in the last 2 games. In 6 days. 5 points dropped in 6 days. 1 from a 2-0 lead. I think he's lost the dressing room. Not the whole one. Not the whole dressing room. There's still players that obviously play for him. Probably people like Guendouzi. But I think people like Lacazette, I think they're fucking pissed, bruv. And I even think Aubameyang's not happy, bruv. Because these men know they were here for a little bit of Wenger, innit? Even though it was a dead side of Wenger. They know we score goals even when we're shit. Yeah? From open fucking play. We haven't scored a goal from open play in 3 Prem games. Just think about that. Arsenal Football Club haven't scored a goal from open play in 3 Prem games. In those 3 games, we dropped 5 points. This ain't right. I think the dressing room's being lost, and I think the fans have been lost. The metrics say we're going backwards. The table says the same thing. It's like, how many times do we need to see this shit football before clocking? Oh wait, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's not that he doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't know what to do. You can tell. On the sideline, whether we score a goal or concede, this man is making a fucking weird face. Just like, oh shit, I don't like the look of this. Like, brother, just go. But obviously he's not going to go, he's got a contract, innit? He's going to do his job until someone tells him, yo, you can't do this job. And so it's up to Raul. And I really hope they don't give him the season. And if they do, I'm going to have to back the manager. I'm going to have to. Because what I'm not going to do is be here in April fucking yelling at my screen saying, I told you, Emery fucking out. I don't want to be angry, blood. I don't want to be angry. Yeah? So if we go past January and he's still there, I'm going to have to just firms it, bruv, and just say, boom, we're playing dead football with a dead manager. That's just where we're at right now with this fucking season. I'ma still say my opinion in terms of I'ma criticize absolutely everything when it goes wrong, but I'm gonna be sitting there backing the team and saying, yo, Emery, bruv, prove me wrong, bruv. Prove me wrong, brother. Yeah? Turn this shit around. Win 5 games in a row with beautiful football. Because I want to be proved wrong. I want to be incorrect. I want this shit to magically turn. We said, yeah, when Tierney and Bayardine and Holding come back, it magically turns around. Well, guess what? Tierney was playing today and he played well. The centre-backs weren't the problem. Chambers, well, he gave a penalty away, but, you know... Well, actually, no, that penalty lost us the game, as well as the VAR decisions, but Chambers wasn't horrendous. I gave him a 4 in my match ratings. He was not good, but I don't know. I don't think you change the right back and all of a sudden we start playing beautiful football. I'm past that. I'm past that. The fullbacks will make us better, but they're not going to change the philosophy of the coach. They're not going to change the way we play, the lack of chances we create. They're not really... Yeah, we'll have a few more cutbacks. We are cutback FC and Berlin knows how to cut back, but is that the solution? No. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because our midfield distances are wrong. The solution is a change of structure, it's a change of personnel, and it's a change of philosophy, and an actual implementation of an identity. Until we get that, we're fucked. Who do you take as manager if he goes now, today? If he gets sacked today, which he's obviously not going to, because we've seen the articles saying he's back to the end of the season. So if he gets sacked today, who do you take? Well, I'd take Mourinho in a second. I'd take Mourinho in a fucking heartbeat, because I know at least Mourinho... Look at what Mourinho did with that dead United team, fam. He got him to second. 81 points with that shocking team. I think our squad's better than theirs. Yeah? So if he can do that with theirs, he should be able to easily get us top 4. You feel me? Get us defending. Get us top 4 in a little trophy. And then move on from there, innit? See what the thing is. If the man want to back him with big signings, get fucking Mourinho. I don't want Allegri. Because he seems mad fraudulent. I don't want another fraud in here. I want a proven guy. I'd rather have Rafa Benitez than Allegri. Benitez is he in China or some shit? We'd have to give him the bag. But I'd rather have Benitez any day of the week. I was thinking about this, yeah. We wouldn't take Zidane at the club. Like, most people with a decent analytical sense of football are going to say, nah, we don't want Zidane as our manager. But what is Emery? Because Zidane's won the Champions League 3 times in a row. And we back Emery because he won 3 Europa Leagues in a row. So if we're not going to take Zidane, why are we accepting who we've got right now? Don't make no sense, brother. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to go today, but he's not going to. So I'm going to have to want him to prove me wrong. So I've not completely turned on the manager in the sense that I still believe that he possibly can. I don't think he will at all. I don't think he's going to turn it around. But I believe that he is capable of turning it around. It just requires him to change his entire fucking mindset, which I don't see happening. And he's changed his mindset so much that he's now got to the point where he's like, well, I'm never going to change my mind again. And I'm just going to keep doing this dumb shit. At least he played Tierney, man. Some positives. He started Tierney. You substituted Xhaka. Which means he recognises the flaws of Xhaka. And at this point, you have to say Xhaka's got to stop playing, man. Listen. I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Thank you, everyone who's been watching and rocking with me. French Gooner. The morning after show. Tomorrow I'll do a preview stream for the Carabao Cup game on Wednesday. So catch me then.